Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is James Anastasiadis, and this is my story on how I battled an eating disorder and stress the last 2 seasons in my college career. Now, this video is not intended just to break stigmatisms, because I am so thankful that many professionals have come out this entire year and have talked about the importance of mental health within sports and athletics. But this is more intended to spread awareness of more of the signs and symptoms, and just to show you guys that, hey, just because everything might seem great, it really isn't always that case. So here's my story. I grew up on the little island of Cyprus and moved to Huntington Beach, California my senior year of high school, where I played with TJ DeFalco, Josh Tuaninga, and many other great volleyball players. During my time in California, I played at HBC and 949, and I also played at Huntington Beach High School. I later on got recruited and earned a scholarship to the University of Hawaii at Manoa, where I did play 5 years. I played 5 years at the University of Hawaii at Manoa, which was a roller coaster of events and life learning experiences. My first 3 years were pretty difficult. I was in the gym with some of the top players in the world: Jennings Franciskovic, Stein von Tilburg, Joe Worsley, Radoslav Parapunov, Brett Rosenmeyer, Dalton Solbrig, Patrick Gassman, Hendrik Moll, and that's just to name a few. Being in a gym with such amazing talent can be very intimidating, and me growing up on a little island, I don't know if I deserved to be there, and that's what I thought to myself. Obviously, the coaches saw something in me in order to have me in that practice gym, but I didn't have the belief in myself that I deserved to earn a starting spot there. It was very stressful because trying to find some kind of court time during those practices was very difficult. I spent most of my time in practice on the sideline wiping sweat and calling lines. By the end of my sophomore year, it kind of got to me. So going into my junior year, I kind of decided I was going to take a step back from volleyball and focus a lot more on school. And that's exactly what I did. So my school grades were some of the best grades I had ever gotten. I made the dean's list that year, but my game was definitely not where it was and could have been. I took lifting way less serious, and I was not 100% at practice, which definitely took a toll on my body. That year, I also put on 35 pounds, and I was just not in good shape. I took partying a lot more serious and definitely enjoyed a lot more of my social life, also while taking care of school. So enjoy this clip of me shotgunning 4 beers in under 40 seconds, because I want to be as honest in this, and this is the reality of college athletics. That year, I also drank a lot, just to deal with the stress of what it's like being a student athlete. If I had a bad practice, or if I just thought to myself I deserved to get a lot more playing time and didn't, I would come home and I wouldn't drink my feelings away, I wouldn't say that, but I definitely would drink with friends just to help forget about it and just to have a good time. It wasn't to the point where it was excessive and I was slumbered and plumped, but it definitely happens. And why I'm saying that is because I really want to spread awareness that this is a lot of stuff that college athletes go through. And next time you have a bad practice, don't lean towards alcohol for the solution. Go and talk to a teammate. Go and talk to your coaches about why you are frustrated. Talk to them about why you're in the position that you're in. It's something that I wish I would have done. So that same year, I was really good at blaming other people for where my life was, mostly in the volleyball gym. Because life with school was great, my social life was great, but I wasn't happy with where I was volleyball-wise. And so, going into my true senior year, I decided I needed to make a big change if I wanted to make something for myself and not want to be another person that just walked through this program. So going into my senior year, I decided I was going to take lifting a lot more serious and just change my body. My parents at this point had moved to Spokane, Washington, and I fell in love with it. I didn't know anyone. All I knew that summer was I had an internship at U District, and there was a gym 2 minutes down the street from my house. So my schedule was go to my internship, go to the gym, come home, eat, sleep, go to the gym again, sleep, internship, gym, sleep, eat, internship. Why do I mention this? So, when I decided I wanted to make a change and lose weight, I did a lot of research on my own to try and figure out, okay, what's the best way to lose weight fast and to get absolutely shredded? Because that's what I was told. You're going to be the best athlete at 5% body fat. That's exactly what I did. So that summer I looked up the keto diet and did extensive research on it, and I was like, oh, perfect. I gotta eat bacon, eggs, burgers without the bun, and I'll still lose weight while doing it. All I gotta give up is potatoes, pasta, and rice. Bet. Easy money. So that is where my fitness journey began, and I did intermittent fasting. I would eat 8 hours in the day and not eat for 16 hours. And obviously during the summer this worked. I wasn't stressed with a social life because I didn't know people. I wasn't stressed with school and grades because I wasn't in school. I was learning a lot on the way, and I enjoyed the process. I was doing it for myself. Now, this is where things get sicky. I came back to school, and that's where all the comments started rolling in. Comments from coaches.
And enter James Anastasiadis, now a redshirt junior. Charlie Wade saying that he's in the best shape of his life, and you can just tell looking at him. This guy put in some work in the offseason.
Absolutely, he looks so different.
Overpass, Stein, mahalo nui loa.
And comments from a bunch of friends like, hey, you look so good, how did you do it? Now that's the question that sticks with me till this day, and that's the question that started this downhill journey battling my eating disorder. During the summer, I never calculated macros. I never counted calories. I never really thought about how much I was eating and what I was eating, as long as it was within the keto diet. But when I got to school and people started asking about macros and calories and all this kind of stuff, I was like, I don't know. I never really calculated it. But I guess I'll start because people are wondering what it is. Once you start to see those numbers is when it starts to mess with your brain. I started calculating how much protein I was eating. I started calculating how many carbs I was eating. I started calculating how many calories I was eating. I was probably burning close to 5,000 to 6,000 calories a day and only consuming 1,500 to 1,800. Now that takes a crazy toll on your body. The other thing that I did want to mention was I did keep up intermittent fasting as well. Now when you're intermittent fasting, when you have practice from 6 a.m. till 8:30 a.m. and then you don't allow yourself to eat till 12, it's not good. You're going to practice unfueled, you're going to practice not ready, and you're not allowing yourself to maximize your performance. And that's exactly what happened. When I got to school, I was in the best shape of my life, and I would say I was one of the top guns in the gym. But as the first month went on, I started seeing my teammates' performance rise while my one declined. That caused so much stress to me. I was doing everything right. I wasn't going out. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't doing anything that I thought was bad. And I looked great. So what happened? Well, I wasn't fueling my body right. And obviously wasn't doing the right thing. So a lot of times it's just not being educated enough in how to maximize that performance that may cause a lot of these stressors. That's why I've also started a company with Dalton Solberg and Faina Zhang. We called it Off the Court. Our goal with our company is to help educate student athletes on the importance of taking care of their bodies on and off the court. And as we know, we only practice 2 to 4 hours in our day, so what are we doing the other 22 to 20 hours? And that can have a huge effect on what your performance looks like. But back to my story. So I wasn't fueling my body right, I was exhausted all the time, and this dealt to a lot of stress. I put in so much work and I'm not seeing the results. Another thing that I did want to mention about the eating disorder was, as I said, I would intermittent fast and I wouldn't allow myself to eat between 12 and 8. So I would go to the training room and I'd take a handful of halls, so I'd suck on them in class, and I'll never forget, I would always constantly look at that clock in class and be like, is it 12 yet? Is it 12 yet? Is it 12 yet? What am I going to eat once 12 happens? And this just caused a whole other stress in my head that it's just not fun to deal with. Another thing is I started smoking e-cigarettes again because I would rather smoke e-cigarettes than snack. And as a lot of people know, e-cigarettes definitely take away from your appetite. Smoking cigarettes takes away from your appetite. And it's a side effect of a lot of eating disorders. People smoke to stop their appetite from building up. So I had stopped the summer I decided to lose weight. I had smoked e-cigarettes for 3 years prior, well, 2 years prior to that. And then stopped that summer. I was like, why are you doing this? It's dumb. It's a waste of money. There's no benefits to it. It harms you. But it was something harmful I picked back up because I thought I couldn't eat food and would rather smoke e-cigarettes than eat a meal or snack on food during the day. And looking back on it, it's really sad that it got to that point. But like I said, I am being 100% honest because I want you guys to understand what it's like. And I want you guys to understand that if you see someone struggling, you should just probably talk to them, and you never know what someone's going through. So, yeah, I picked up e-cigarettes, and I'm very happy to say that since December 31st of 2020 was the last time I had any kind of nicotine free again, because it's just not worth it. It's not good for you. It's a waste of money, I'll tell you that. So back to my story. My senior year didn't earn a starting position, and I was the most stressed I ever have been. I would work out with the team for 2.5 hours of practice. I would work out with the team for 1.5 hours during our lifts, and then I'd go and lift on my own for about 2 hours because I felt like I needed to stay shredded. Now, what most people don't understand is athletes do not need to train and eat like bodybuilders because we're not bodybuilders. Having a good physique is the outcome of training like an athlete. Mind-blowing, right? I wish I would have known that 2 years ago. So yeah, I started lifting like a bodybuilder. I started caring so much about my physique. And I was on this roller coaster ride of eating carbs, not eating carbs, eating carbs, not eating carbs, eating carbs, not eating carbs. And it wasn't until I sat in my psychology class in the middle of October and we were going over eating disorders and we were going over the signs and symptoms, and I was like, I do that, I have that, I do this, I have that. I definitely do that. Hey, maybe something's wrong with me. So after that class, I remember I sat outside of the class for about an hour and just kind of thought to myself, like, are you happy? Are you seriously okay? Everything seemed amazing. The compliments. Dude, you look so good. Just the attention. I was like, bro, this is awesome, but why don't I feel okay? And that's because I wasn't. I wasn't eating. I was stressed out. And I just wasn't happy. I wasn't truly happy. I looked great, but I wasn't happy because I had to give up so much to look a certain way and to please other people that I lost sight of why I even started this journey, and it was for myself to perform better. So I called my mom and I was like, hey, I'm not okay. I need to come home for Thanksgiving. And I need to talk to you. So I remember I went home and I talked to my mom and I was like, I'm not happy. I'm constantly stressed. I stress about what I eat 98% of the day, and I'm just not okay. So talking to her helped a lot. And then I talked to a nutritionist, Mike Nielsen, who helped me understand that food is not bad and food doesn't make you fat. Food is to fuel your body, especially as an athlete. If you don't eat food, you can't perform right. It's like putting gas in a car. If you don't put gas in the car, you're never going to reach the destination that you want to get to. So this is something that I had to understand, and it's a journey. It's not up until legit. I know I said in my last video, maybe March of last year, but it wasn't until this summer I'm 100% okay. Do I still have days where I'm like, I probably shouldn't eat that? Yeah, but they're way less than they used to be. And for anyone that is battling any kind of eating disorder, you just got to take it day by day. You got to understand that the changes that you're making are for the best, they're not for the worst. And each day you do something good for you, and each day that you do eat that cupcake is a day and a step in the right direction. So I highly recommend you guys talk to someone about it, go see a professional, or just ask for help, because your happiness is a lot more important than looking skinny. So yeah, there you have it. Most of the story that I want to share with you guys and kind of what went on with me mentally and physically. And so I went to go and play my 5th year at the University of Hawaii, where COVID did end our season.
But for me, when it really hit me was once we got off the plane and I checked Instagram and I saw that the NBA canceled their season. I was like, all right, it looks like it's over for us. So I started preparing from then. And you make jokes about it because you don't want to believe it, and then you finally see it. That's for real. Like, season got postponed. All right, 2 hours later, NCAA cancels the rest of the spring sports. And then today made it really real with the Big West canceling the rest of the spring sports too. It's a hard pill to swallow, It's not how anyone wants to go out, but it's not about how you end it, it's the journey. And the things that I've learned out here is over the 5 years, the culture that we've built, the stuff that we hold ourselves accountable for is kind of like what builds you for moments like these. And it's, what are you going to do? You can either moan in sorrow and be like, yeah, that's just unfair. Why is this happening to me? Or, and this is opportunity for something new, you know? Life isn't fair at the end of the day. It's one thing that we're all told growing up, or else we'd all be happy, we'd all have everything, you know? And we're, unfortunately, the class that's going to suffer the most from it, but it's how do you respond to it? And, you know, I think I'm ready. Unlike Colton, Pat, and Rado, like, I served my last volleyball in the Stan Sheriff Center, and I'll probably serve my last volleyball ever. And I'm ready for it, you know? I've had these 5 greatest years of my life here. I moved at 15 years old from Cypress to Huntington Beach, California. That was a super rough year for me, leaving all my friends my senior year. Then I came out here, and it's like, dude, you expect 1 year to get worse and worse and worse, but it just got better and better and better, you know? Like, I got all my best friends out here. I've made, and that's the point that I really want to bring up was, okay, we lost one thing in this entire journey, one national championship. Like, we lost the national championship and we lost our chance at the second one. I thought it was going to be pretty good. We had pretty good chances. But you look at the flip side, I made friends for life. I made family out here. Oahu's a second home to me, if not first home at this point, you know? Like, I'm stuck out here right now. I love it. But it's like what you're willing to give up for what you have. And you know what? If the coronavirus just ended my last season out here, but I got everything out of being out here, I'll take that any day over one national championship. You know?
So the crazy thing since that, though, is I still got the national championship. But a lot of true things in that video, and like I said, I wasn't sure what was next, and I am still here on Oahu. I absolutely love it out here, but that doesn't mean that I'm living my best life. I'm still trying to figure out, okay, what's next? I've been coaching clinics and absolutely love it, and it's definitely something that I do see myself doing in the future, is coaching volleyball and helping the next generation of athletes know how to be the best version of themselves on and off the court, but also realize the potential that they have outside of athletics. It is super important as an athlete to have hobbies and know who you are outside of just James the volleyball player or the basketball player or whatever it is, and whatever sport it is that you do. You're a lot more than that, and just know that you are way more than just an athlete. So there you guys have it. With this video, I hope to help a lot of people understand that you're not alone with the stressors that come with being a student athlete. I'm also here to tell you that as stressful as it is being a student athlete, the pros much more outweigh the cons. Like I mentioned earlier, I've made friends for life. I've learned so many life lessons within 5 years. I've learned a lot of life skills and job working and job relating skills that I'm going to carry on into the future. And I can forever say that I grinded for 15 years of my life trying to achieve one of the goals of my dreams, which was to play collegiate Division I volleyball. As stressful as it was, I'm so thankful for all of the experiences that I've gone through my life. I wouldn't wish to have my life any different so far, because I wouldn't be here sharing this message with you guys. Mahalo guys for watching this far, and stay tuned for a lot more content.